Hello everyone, welcome to the audiobook for Power Tripping in the Great Unknown, Steverino in His Formative Years. I decided I wanted to write this book some odd 15 years ago when I was inspired to write some of my first trip reports. It is a semi-fictional memoir of 12 years of my life with the nested narrative of me communicating with someone else from a seemingly parallel universe who I call Steverino, and deciding to join forces with him by being his personal scribe for telling his story. The story is meant to be a creative, anthropological sort of study, rather than a glorification or promotion of reckless behaviour. These are simply stories about Steverino's history of exploring the great unknown. Stories started to be written for this book after a particularly powerful experience in the great unknown summer of 2013. The collection in total spans roughly 10 years of internet-informed dives into power tripping in the great unknown, and serves as Steverino's formative years, a time of epiphanies, turbulence, setbacks, and comebacks. Of course I wanted to release a paperback in a perfect world, but it hardly seemed practical with my limited budget and scope. I didn't want to go through the trouble of pitching my story, dealing with others' opinions, and making all the proper negotiations. I thought about Substack, but this is more of a one-off series meant to be experienced as an audiobook or podcast, rather than a weekly blog asking for a read. Eventually, I just asked myself, how would I like to process my own story? If my friend did this, what would be the most accessible way to process it? And it became clear that an audiobook would be the way to go. I used AI voice cloning to produce the narrator you hear right now. And I did this instead of reading the whole thing myself, because I have to be practical nowadays. I have limited time and energy, so it just makes sense to do things efficiently, rather than go through the pain of trying to fast-track narrative voice skills and perfect enunciation of every line myself. It was a choice made in everyone's best interest. There is something soothing about Steverino's AI voice. After sitting on this book for years and years, I can't explain the excitement I have about finally being able to get the story out there for the benefit and enjoyment of anyone who is interested. And I don't have to ask them to buy a book or read an article on their phone. It's right here in short form episodes. Thank you for checking out the Power Tripping in the Great Unknown audiobook, and I hope you are entertained by Steverino's adventures.